Allison here on the channel that I used to call the Oh So Sensitive channel, but I have since renamed it just after my name. It's me, Allison Michelle. So today I wanted to share with you all some perfumes that I have collected over the past few months. I had already mentioned in my last video that I've recently moved because of a job change, and the job change has given me more opportunity to buy perfumes that I love, but I still have fallen prey to the blind buy monster. Purchased some things without smelling them first simply because they were on sale or because the reviews were so interesting and such high rave reviews that I went ahead and took a risk. So I'm going to share with you all what I've purchased, the things that were successful purchases and the things that weren't so successful. So let's get started. I already gave you guys a clue to what I have in my opening shot, but I realized afterwards that I did forget one other bottle. But let's get started. So let's start with the bottle I forgot to include in my opening shot. This is Chanel number 5 by Chanel, classic perfume. It wasn't a blind purchase. I've smelled this so many times. I've tested it so many times. And in the past, I would always kind of fall back on actually buying it because there always seemed to be something better that I would rather have. For example, it was easier for me to choose Coco Mademoiselle Intense over this one. But I finally added it to my collection because there were rumors that they changed the Lily of the Valley note. Lily of the Valley can be a bit tricky for me. So I was excited at the possibility of still loving the smell, but not being so bothered by whatever compound is used to make that Lily of the Valley note, because the Lily of the Valley flowers don't actually, it's not actually a way to distill the flowers and get that smell that Lily of the Valley creates. So most of the time, the Lily of the Valley note is the result of synthetic chemical composition. But whatever that synthetic chemical composition is, IFRA recently announced that they no longer support it. So companies have been making changes. But this one is a semi-successful purchase for me because, like I said, I've smelled this so many times. It wasn't a blind buy. Maybe I shouldn't have got the big bottle, but I tend to just love the bigger bottles as far as like the classic Chanel look. But I got this because I just wanted a fresh, powdery, classic scent in my collection that lasted a bit longer. I have Chanel number 5 Eau Premiere, and I love the way that one smells, especially when I layer it on top of an orange scented lotion because it brings out the citrusy notes even more. But no matter how I layer it, it doesn't really last as long as I would like it to last. So I just felt like maybe I just need to go ahead and get the classic number 5 and it'll last longer. But it's not as successful of a buy for me because this just isn't a perfume that I'm going to wear a lot. I have this for a very specific purpose, which is essentially when I want to go for that crisp white button-down shirt feel or that soft white negligee feel. So if I wear this during the day, it'll be when I want to give off that classic, effervescent, sophisticated, soft-spoken lady type of aura, or when I want to wear it at night with a white nightgown for some reason. But again, this is Chanel number 5 Eau de Parfum. Now let's talk about a purchase that wasn't successful. Whew. This was not successful. I only bought it because it was on sale and it was my birthday month. And I was just like, it's my birthday. I should get something the day of my birthday. I just felt like I should get myself a bottle of perfume. I went on my Macy's app because up here in Indiana, they have a Macy's. Where I was living last in Alabama, they didn't have a Macy's near me. So I've just been so excited to have a Macy's close by. And there's a Nordstrom just an hour away from me. That's exciting too. But Macy's is closer, and Macy's was having a sale on Estée Lauder products. So I purchased Bronze Goddess Nuit. It's the newest release in the Bronze Goddess family. I got it without smelling it at all, and it was a risky purchase because the reviews were mixed. But I was just hoping I would be on the end as far as people who love it. And honestly, it just smells like nothing. I don't really smell anything when I wear it. Whatever they use to create or try to create that warm coconut smell, it just falls flat. And it's disappointing because, I mean, it's called Bronze Goddess Nuit. So you're thinking a nighttime perfume, and the Bronze Goddess line is so iconic and popular. And I was just hoping this would be my classic Bronze Goddess perfume, but it's not. When I spray it and it settles, I smell less of that nothingness, synthetic smell. Because when I first spray it, it just smells like synthetic nothing. But when it calms down, I catch more of the warmth, more of the coconut essence, because the Bronze Goddess line is probably gonna always have a coconut note. But other than that, I'm really unimpressed. This is the way the bottle looks. Even when I got it on sale, I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Okay, so then let's switch to a successful purchase. So everybody has been either waxing poetic or complaining to the gods about the Miss Dior line by Christian Dior. Their most recent formulation of Miss Dior, which is Miss Dior 2021, has come out and therefore replaced the last edition, which was Miss Dior 2017. So many people that I follow on YouTube and Instagram loved Miss Dior 2017. And they are in contrast to the people who love the Miss Dior version right before that, Miss Dior Cherie with the popcorn note that I never got to smell. At this point, we just have to accept the Miss Dior line is never going to be a classic line. Coco Mademoiselle is going to be a classic. Coco Mademoiselle is here to stay. If they change anything, it'll just be the reformulations that tend to happen every 10 to 15 years because of IFRA regulations. But Chanel is more of a classic line or a classic perfume line. And I think people need to realize Dior isn't aiming to be classic. For some reason, they're always aiming to be trendy. So I say all that to say, I happened to see that on Joma Shop, they had some Miss Dior 2017 bottles on sale. I had tested these bottles before when they were out in the department stores, and I liked the smell, but I ended up choosing Coco Mademoiselle Intense over Miss Dior. But now that the 2017 formulation is discontinued, and I saw that Joma Shop had some bottles on sale, I went ahead and got 2 bottles, and this is one of the bottles. This is one of the bottles I got. I got the tester bottle, so it's not in a pretty box, but I love the way this smells. It's reminiscent of what was trendy in 2017, which was basically those fruity patchouli perfumes or those patchouli heavy perfumes. The new Miss Dior is off track with that trend back in 2017. Miss Dior 2021 is basically chasing the current trend. But the trend at the time that Miss Dior 2017 came out was a patchouli heavy perfume, kind of like Coco Mademoiselle or a Flower Bomb by Victor and Rolf. Those were still popular, and they are actually still popular now. But the women and men who love those perfumes have gotten older, and Miss Dior or the Christian Dior brand seems to always be chasing a young audience. So once a perfume gets to the point where the current 20-year-olds think of it as that's my big sister's perfume or that's my mom's perfume, then Dior no longer wants to make it. But I love this. I think it's perfect for my age group or my demographic. I just turned 40. Very warm, vanillic, sweet, classic. The staying power isn't as good as Chanel's Coco Mademoiselle line, in my opinion. But with some tweaking, basically some layering, it can still last a good while. And again, this is Miss Dior 2017. So, speaking of Miss Dior, I mentioned that Miss Dior 2017 was kind of chasing that patchouli trend. Well, I still got the new Miss Dior, the 2021 version. And this one to me is chasing the fruity, fresh musk trend. So that's what this smells like to me. It's fruity, it's fresh, and musky at the same time. M-U-S-K-Y, not M-U-S-T-Y. And I still like it. To me, I like 2017 better, but 2017 is more of the grown woman, I am entering the room and you are going to notice me type of scent. This is more of the demure, soft, fresh young lady who, if you happen to be welcomed into her bubble, you'll notice her. But Miss Dior 2017, whether you're in her bubble or not, you are going to notice her. So this one still has a place, Miss Dior 2021. it has the cloth bow instead of the metal bow. And at first I kind of thought of this as a cheap cop-out, but according to Dior, each bow is hand woven with care and is still expensive to make. I don't know if I believe the hype, but they are really trying to push that this is not a cheapened bottle. The bottle is still expensive, or quality, or luxury, or whatever you want to call it. This one, I could make a video talking about how I layer all of these perfumes to make them perform well on me. But this is one that does require layering. I think I have figured out which lotion to layer this with to make it last longer. So I still feel like this was a good purchase, but I still like this better, which is why I have 2 bottles of this. Actually just realized I have another perfume that I forgot to mention and bring up here with me, but I will add it at the end. It's yet another Miss Dior. But let's move on. So another purchase I made in the past few months is Super Gorgeous by Michael Kors. This was another blind purchase. I would say this one's pretty successful, but again, maybe I should have gotten the smaller bottle, but I just kind of have a penchant for liking bigger bottles. But that just means I'm gonna have to declutter some of my collection so I can actually use up some of these bigger bottles. This one, I enjoy the smell. It has, I think it has tobacco in it. So to me, it is kind of like Alien's more smoky sister. The reason I think this shouldn't be a blind buy for most people is, one, Alien is not an easy blind buy. So if you have a perfume that is Alien-esque in any way, that automatically means it's not an easy blind buy. So this has kind of an Alien nature to it, but also combined with the fact that it's smoky, makes it even more potentially polarizing. And the last thing that makes it potentially polarizing is there is in fact something in here that smells almost like pickle juice. So I don't know if it's because of the company that Michael Kors hires to make their perfumes. It may be the same company that makes the Marc Jacobs perfumes. Some of their perfumes can have kind of like a pickle juice smell to some people. But okay, I really enjoy this. I don't wear it a lot because in the back of my mind, I'm wondering if someone else is going to pick up that pickle juice smell and not like it. But I like the way this smells. So for me, this is still a successful buy, but maybe I shouldn't have got the big bottle buy. Okay, so did y'all hear that truck? I'm sorry. So next up we have Juliette Has A Gun, Magnolia Bliss. My first Juliette Has A Gun purchase. I was at Sephora. I was out of town. I don't mean to, I guess, bring anybody down, but I recently lost my mother and I was traveling out of town for the funeral and I just needed a pick-me-up. I needed something to perk up my spirits. So I just thought I'll go to Sephora and I'll buy a perfume. And what I ended up choosing, one of the things I ended up choosing was Juliette Has A Gun, Magnolia Bliss. When I tested it, I enjoyed the smell, but I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to pay, I think $130 for a full bottle. So I settled on getting the travel spray because I was like, I can give myself some time to get to know the scent to see if it's worthy of a full bottle. It looks odd smelling the palm of my hand. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I won't ever make this a full bottle purchase. It's the magnolia in here is very bright and effervescent, but then there's kind of a dark fruity note in here also. It may be plum. So to me, it's a bit confusing because it's like bright and fresh, dark and fruity, bright and fresh, dark and fruity. So my brain feels confused when I smell this, but I still think it's a nice smell, just maybe not at this point one that I want a full bottle of because it's just kind of confusing for me when I smell it. I don't know what to feel or think when I smell it, which is why I'm glad I got the travel size. And when I went with making a full bottle purchase, I chose something else. And what I chose was Golden Nectar by Nest. The only issue I may have with this, if I were to complain, is it doesn't last super long, but the lasting power isn't horrible. As far as the smell, this reminds me of, there's an amber perfume by Victoria's Secret that was like one of their classic perfumes that everybody knew of. Something amber something. But it kind of reminds me of that, but mixed with pink sugar by Aquilina. Whew, it smells really good. I mean, the name is Golden Nectar, so you already know this is gonna be a super sweet sugared perfume. But it being mixed with kind of like that ambery, classic amber perfume smell that Victoria's Secret used to have, makes it a little bit more elevated and adult. I really enjoyed wearing this when I wore it. When I bought it, I wore it 2 days in a row, and I layered it with something. Can't remember what I layered it with the first time, but the first time I layered it with a lotion, it was amazing. The second lotion I tried out didn't work out so well. So I have to remind myself of which lotion it worked with so I can get that feeling again. But again, to me, this is like an elevated ambery pink sugar. Okay, so this is a purchase I made from TJ Maxx a while ago. This is Modern Rose Le Rouge. I got this because I thought it was the perfume that Angel lately mentioned on her Instagram. She had posted about a Modern Muse perfume that she was waxing poetic about. And when I saw this in TJ Maxx, I just snatched it up because I thought it was the same perfume, but she was talking about another one. This one is an okay purchase for me. It's lipsticky, and I kind of have enough of the lipsticky perfumes. I have quite a few perfumes that are kind of like a rosy red lipstick scent. So I'm kind of over it, but it's not a scent that I dislike or even dislike wearing. It's just once I got it home and got it out of the cellophane package and finally tried it, I was kind of like, okay, nothing new. I already have this. Like I have a Calvin Klein perfume that smells lipsticky, and I can't remember all the perfumes that just kind of give me that lipstick vibe, but however many I have enough, or I almost have too much. This one performs okay, particularly when I layer it with a good lotion. But my experience wearing it is that it's not one of the ones where when I wear it, I just feel like me and I just love it. To me, this is a travel perfume. This is I'm going out of town. I want to smell nice, but I don't want to risk losing a favorite bottle. So I'll go ahead and bring this with me. Oh. It's almost like I saved the best for last. Okay, so I did make a niche purchase. So I had been looking at this perfume on Joma Shop for a while because it's by a brand that can run expensive when you buy the bottles brand new. But Joma Shop seems to always get this brand in and they're able to sell it for a deal. And I kept seeing reviews on this because, what was it? People kept saying it reminded them of Love Don't Be Shy by Kilian, which I did test and I enjoyed it, but I thought it wore a little too softly on my skin for the price. For how expensive Kilian is, I need Kilian to be punching down doors when I wear that perfume for how much it costs. And if it's not doing that, then I need to find a dupe. So I basically was on a search for a dupe that wasn't going to be so expensive. So even if it wore softly on me, I wouldn't mind. But I found a dupe that everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people were saying it was a dupe, but it was way less expensive on Joma Shop. And that one is Velvet Vanilla by Mancera. So this one is polaristic. It was a risk for me to buy it, but it worked out for me. The reason it's a risk is because whereas Love Don't Be Shy is beautiful and sweet and powdery and creamy and a little bit rosy, but wears softly unless you overspray and layer it, this one kicks down doors. Like, my goodness, if you overspray, you might kill yourself. Like, if you overspray this one, you might not live to talk about it, because just a few sprays from far away does the job, because it takes over. It really does. But the way this smells to me is, it smells like almost a strawberry flavored bubble gum, and you can really pick up on that powdery coating that's on the bubble gum. If you've ever had Bazooka bubble gum, or even that, I don't know if anybody else has had this, but there used to be a snack size packet of bubble gum where you opened the packet and the bubble gum was kind of shredded up, and so you just picked up some of the bubble gum shreds and you ate that and chewed on it throughout the day. But that shredded bubble gum was also very powdery, like you just get powder all over your hands. This smells like you can really smell the powder. But I enjoy this. When I wear this, you really can't tell me anything. And I don't even care that no one has complimented me while wearing this, because even though I knew to be light-handed with this based on the reviews, I wasn't heavy-handed, but some reviews said just do one spray on your chest from far away. But I think I did a total of 3 sprays. So maybe the reason I didn't get compliments was because people smelled me and they almost died. So they didn't have the strength to say, your perfume. They were just trying to collect themselves and make it to see the next day. But very successful buy, and in such a big bottle, 4 ounces, and I got this for $90, free shipping. So far, I'm loving Joma Shop. I was scared the first time I purchased from there because I had no experience purchasing from Joma Shop, but it worked out. I love it. It's also where I got my Miss Dior 2017 from, and now I just window shop on Joma Shop all the time to see what they have, because they're not always consistent. So that's everything I have here on the bed with me. I was gonna go and pick up the other bottle. I forgot to show you all, but I'll just tell you what it is. So I also got 2 backup bottles of Miss Dior Eau de Toilette. So the Miss Dior Eau de Toilette 2019 version is the most recent version of the Miss Dior Eau de Toilette line, and it was made to be a lighter version of Miss Dior 2017. But based on the way Dior is moving, they're probably going to discontinue it by next year or the year after. So maybe by 2024, it will be replaced with a Eau de Toilette that's more like this current Miss Dior, the Miss Dior 2021. So I went ahead and used my Ulta points to stock up on some backup bottles of Miss Dior Eau de Toilette 2019. Excuse me for my voice sounding off. I haven't been able to get that together all day. But it's been a challenging few weeks just because of recent events. So for some reason, it's made my talking voice a little bit more somber than I intend for it to be. But I think things will get better with time, and I just wanted to still share this haul with you all. And for those of you who pray, just keep me in your prayers. All right, thanks for watching.